Good morning and welcome to the Australian Defence Force Academy's 2024 graduation parade. We welcome the family and friends who cannot be at the Academy today and are watching via the live stream. On behalf of the Commandant of the Australian Defence Force Academy, Air Commodore Jules Adams CSC, and the Rector of the University of New South Wales Canberra, Professor Emma Sparks, I acknowledge the Ngunnawal people as the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. We acknowledge the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander men and women who have contributed to the defence of Australia in times of peace and war. The Australian Defence Force is committed to providing a safe environment for all its employees, contractors and visitors. Please be aware of the uneven paved areas around the Academy to avoid trips and falls. Please do not walk onto the parade ground or gravel surrounds during your visit here today. Please abide by all safety directions given by the staff of the Academy. Should you require first aid treatment or restroom facilities, bathrooms are located in the foyer of the Adams Auditorium, situated to the rear of the concourse. Parents and guardians are to ensure the adequate supervision of accompanying children. In case of an emergency evacuation or serious security incident, follow the direction of uniformed personnel. Belongings are not to be left unattended anywhere in the grounds of ADFA. All unattended items will be reported and may be confiscated or removed. In accordance with government policy, there is no smoking allowed in or near any of the buildings at ADFA. For the comfort of everyone, please refrain from smoking at today's event. In 1974, the Commonwealth Government announced its intention to establish a single tertiary educational institution for the Defence Force. The site where we gather today was selected for the new academy in 1977, and in 1981, the University of New South Wales agreed to provide the academic component of officer training. In 1984, then Chief of the Defence Force, Air Marshal Sir Neville McNamara, formally established the Australian Defence Force Academy. This morning, the Academy welcomes back all returning graduates. Today's parade will mark the 38th graduation parade conducted by the Australian Defence Force Academy. The drill used during the parade today has been specifically developed for use within the tri-service environment of the Australian Defence Force Academy and is based on Royal Navy sword drill, Australian Army words of command and ceremonial procedures, and Royal Australian Air Force foot and static drill. The high standard of drill, dress and bearing that you will see today has been achieved through the dedication and hard work of the military staff, midshipmen and officer cadets. The parade is making its final preparations to march onto the main parade ground to the strains of Scotland the Brave. Echo Squadron, the Chief of the Defence Force Squadron, will lead the parade and be positioned on your left as you look towards the parade ground. This position right of the line is traditionally known as the vanguard, the place of honour and greatest danger in battle. The Academy Band, Pipes and Drums will present the music for today's parade. The Band Master is Warrant Officer Class 1 Mark Jones and the Drum Major is Midshipman Rhianne Klinger. The Academy Band is comprised of volunteer trainee officers and is the largest non-professional band in the Defence Force and the only military unit in Australia that combines pipes, drums and band on a continuous basis. The ADFA tartan worn by the Pipes and Drums was commissioned in 2013. The colours represent the three services, dark blue and white of the Navy being the sea and their ceremonial uniform, red of the Army, remembering those lost or wounded, serving our country, and sky blue of the Air Force, honouring those who have flown in combat and their proud heritage, the green and gold of Australia to remind all graduates they serve our nation as a member of the profession of arms. There are 311 midshipmen and officer cadets who look forward to their graduation from ADFA today to take up postings to their respective single service establishments around Australia to commence their careers or to continue their role-specific training. Graduates studying four-year degrees will remain at the Academy as advanced students and to complete their studies in 2025. Our graduating class includes our international students, some of whom will now return home having been outstanding ambassadors for their countries, whilst others will remain and continue with further studies. During this morning's parade, the reviewing officer, Her Excellency the Honourable Miss Sam Mostyn, AC, Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia, will be formally received on parade. Following the reviewing officer's inspections, the parade will march past in quick time and then advance in review order. The reviewing officer will then be invited to address the parade. Midshipmen and officer cadets fulfil the parade appointments today. The Academy Cadet Captain, Officer Cadet Brandon Lehman, is the most senior trainee officer appointment within the Academy and is the parade commander. Officer Cadet Caitlin Crick, the Academy Cadet Executive Officer, is the parade second in command. Midshipman Angel Phillips, the Academy Cadet Chief of Staff, is the parade adjutant. Officer Cadet Benjamin O'Brien is the Squadron Cadet Captain of Alpha Squadron. Midshipman Abigail Hunt is the Squadron Cadet Captain of Bravo Squadron. Midshipman Patrick Cormican is the Squadron Cadet Captain of Charlie Squadron. Officer Cadet Sophie Browning is the Squadron Cadet Captain of Delta Squadron. Midshipman Jack Burns is the Squadron Cadet Captain of Echo Squadron. And Officer Cadet Aidan Murray is the Squadron Cadet Captain of Foxtrot Squadron. The Banner Ensign is the Governor-General's Banner Party, is Officer Cadet Joshua Kempnich, who is the President of the Academy Cadets Mess. The Banner Escorts are Officer Cadet Reece Jansen, Midshipman Nissy Will, and Officer Cadet Joshua Newton. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please sit back, relax and be proud of your sons, daughters, spouses, family and friends on parade here in front of you today. If you wish to show your appreciation at any stage during the parade, you're encouraged to do so. The Regimental Sergeant Major of the Australian Defence Force Academy, Warrant Officer Class 1 Lucas Telly, CSM, will now march on to the parade ground and march on the squadron markers.
Markers! Markers 8, hands! Come! Markers! Quiet! Markers! Left! Cut! Markers! Stand up! Eight! Buglers! Out on parade! Markers! 8 hands! Cut!
The Regimental Sergeant Major will now hand over to the Parade Adjutant, Midshipman Angel Phillips, who will post the parade appointments and hand over to the Parade Second in Command. The Parade Adjutant will now hand over to the Parade Second in Command, Officer Cadet Caitlin Crick.
Parade, attention!
Parade, attention!
Parade, stand at ease!
The Parade Second in Command will now hand over to the Parade Commander, Officer Cadet Brandon Lehman.
Parade, attention!
Distinguished guests and visitors, shortly the parade commander will order the Governor-General's banner onto the parade. The Governor-General's banner was presented to the Academy on the 14th of December 1995 by His Excellency the Governor-General Bill Hayden. Please be upstanding for the march on of the Governor-General's banner. Do not salute at any stage while the banner is marched on, regardless of whether or not the banner passes your immediate front. When the banner is in position and the banner ensign, Officer Cadet Joshua Kempnich, gives the command to present arms, visitors are requested to remove hats and all personnel in uniform are to salute as the band plays the musical salute, Point of War.
Right! Right! Attention! The Governor-General's banner!
Stop!
Raise! General salute! Raise and up!
Escort to the banner! Attention! Banner party by the centre! Great! Left! Stop! Banner party will advance! Left! Turn! Escort to the banner! Present! Arms!
Right! Right! And
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commandant of the Australian Defence Force Academy, Air Commodore Jules Adams CSC, and the Rector of the University of New South Wales, Canberra, Professor Emma Sparks, will be formally received by the parade.
Right, right, and set. Right, General salute. Raise and up. Right, right, and start. Right, and at. Hey.
Chief of the Defence Force, Admiral David Johnston, AC, RAN, will now be formally received by the parade.
Right, right, and start. Right, General salute. Raise and up. Right, right, and start. Right, and at. Hey.
Sam Austin's coming in on DD. Did you understand? Did you understand?
Distinguished guests and visitors, please be upstanding for the arrival of the reviewing officer, Her Excellency, the Honourable Miss Sam Mostyn AC, the Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia, who will be accorded a royal salute by the parade.
Right, right, and start. Right, royal salute. Raise and up. Right, right, and start.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. The parade commander will now invite the reviewing officer to inspect the parade. The Commandant of the Australian Defence Force Academy, as the host officer, is accompanying the reviewing officer. To accompany the inspection, the band will play the tunes Highland Cathedral and By Land and Sea. Following her inspection of the parade, the reviewing officer will inspect the Academy band, pipes and drums before returning to the dais.
I'm going to be on field shot. Hang on a minute.
Please, after you, I'll move around onto your left.
Ladies and gentlemen, the parade will now march past in quick time with Echo Squadron, the Chief of the Defence Force Squadron leading. You are requested to stand when the Governor-General's banner passes your immediate front. Gentlemen are requested to remove hats and members in uniform are to salute. Then please be seated once the banner party has marched past.
Parade! Close order! March! Parade! Move to the right! In column of route! Right! Turn!
parade, having completed the march past, will now be prepared for the advance and review order. The significance of this manoeuvre dates back to the 18th century British regiments and conducted with the colours to the front and centre where the commander was also located. With 2 or more ranks at the open order, the formed body would maintain their battle lines, engaging the enemy with maximum firepower, thwarting any attempts to drive a wedge and infiltrate the defensive line. Today, this advance is symbolised by the whole parade marching forward 15 paces to complete the manoeuvre, and a royal salute in a form of present arms is conducted to show no act of aggression is intended towards the reviewing officer.
Right! Open order! March! Right! In front!
The parade will now advance in review order to the playing of the march, the British Grenadiers, followed by the Royal Salute. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated for the advance in review order.
Forwards, ready! Right! Will advance in review order! Right! Eye the centre! Band! Eye the centre! Right! Right! Royal salute! Present! Out! Right! Right! And! Done! Right! And act! Eight! And easy!
The 2024 graduation prizes and awards will now be presented. Her Excellency the Honourable Sam Mostyn, AC, Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia, will present the Commander-in-Chief's Award, consisting of a medal made of 22-carat gold and a sword generously donated by Pulley Swords of London. This award recognises the most exceptional performance by a third-year midshipman or officer cadet in the fields of academic and military achievement, leadership, personal example and performance of duty during their time at the Australian Defence Force Academy. The recipient of the 2024 Commander-in-Chief's Award is presented to, from Alpha Squadron, Midshipman Angel Phillips, Royal Australian Navy. Midshipman Phillips studied a Bachelor of Business during her time at ADFA, achieving a weighted average mark of 77.25%. In her joint professional military education, she achieved a final average grade of 100%, qualifying her for distinguished graduate status. Throughout her time at ADFA, Midshipman Phillips has made an outstanding contribution to the trainee officer body. This has been exemplified in her final year, performing the role of Academy Cadet Chief of Staff. Through this role, she has made an outstanding contribution to improve the experience of her peers, managed additional administrative requirements on top of her studies, and fostered exceptionally positive relationships with all members of the Academy. Her leadership, dedication and professionalism exemplify the highest standards of an officer within the ADF. Upon graduation, Midshipman Phillips will rejoin the fleet to continue her career as an intelligence officer.
Thank you very much.
The The Chief of the Defence Force, Admiral David Johnston, ACRAN, will present the Chief of the Defence Force Sword of Honour for Leadership. It is awarded to the third-year midshipman or officer cadet for outstanding leadership and consistently excellent performance in the fields of officer development, personal example, and application of duty during their time at the Australian Defence Force Academy. The recipient of the 2024 Chief of the Defence Force Sword of Honour for Leadership is, from Foxtrot Squadron, Midshipman Stephanie Armstrong, Royal Australian Navy. Midshipman Armstrong has completed a Bachelor of Science, maintaining a distinction average and achieving a military education average of over 89%. Midshipman Armstrong has received 4 Commandant and 4 Commanding Officer commendations throughout her time at the Academy. Midshipman Armstrong has demonstrated a strong commitment to upholding defence values and has instilled this commitment in her peers. As Divisional Cadet Captain 21 Division, she has been an outstanding role model, leading by example and providing clear direction and support to her division, which has resulted in exceptional personnel management and instilled a growth mindset across her division. Midshipman Armstrong has also demonstrated exceptional organisational skills, coordinating various sporting activities within ADFA and representing the ADF positively in rowing and swimming at a state and national level, whilst maintaining her outstanding academic and military training performance. Upon graduation, Midshipman Armstrong will rejoin the fleet to continue her career as a maritime warfare officer. The Chief of Service prizes are awarded to a graduate from each service for the most outstanding performance by a third-year trainee officer in the fields of military and academic achievement, leadership, personal example, and service ethos during their time at the Australian Defence Force Academy. In addition to meeting the selection criteria, the prize winners are required to be models of the defence values of service, courage, respect, integrity, and excellence. Head of Military Personnel, Rear Admiral Letitia Van Stralen, AM-CSC, will now present the Chief of Navy Prize on behalf of the Chief of Navy. The recipient of the 2024 Chief of Navy Prize is, from Echo Squadron, Midshipman Laura Whitford, Royal Australian Navy. Midshipman Whitford is studying a Bachelor of Arts CDF program, maintaining a distinction average and a high distinction in her military studies. Midshipman Whitford has received a commendation every semester throughout her time at the Academy. With enthusiasm, dedication and a strong work ethic, Midshipman Whitford has consistently performed above her rank and is an excellent role model to her peers. Midshipman Whitford was the Sisters in Arms VEC President, overseeing 3 successful events, expanding the VEC's professional relationships and inspiring current first-year trainees to take over the committee for 2025. She is an active contributor to ADF and ADFA sport and activities, participating in ADF football and cricket, ADFA band and yacht mentoring. Midshipman Whitford embodies defence values. She is a passionate advocate for women in defence and fosters a positive and supportive environment at ADFA. Upon graduation, Midshipman Whitford will rejoin the fleet to continue her career as an intelligence officer. Deputy Chief of Army, Major General Chris Smith, DSC AM CSC, will now present the Chief of Army Prize on behalf of Chief of Army. The recipient of the 2024 Chief of Army Prize is, from Delta Squadron, Officer Cadet Brendan Lehman. Officer Cadet Lehman has completed a Bachelor of Business at ADFA with a credit average and has consistently achieved excellence in his military studies, achieving the highest possible scores. He has received 4 Commandant military commendations and a Commanding Officer military commendation during his time at ADFA. In 2024, Officer Cadet Lehman was selected as the Academy Cadet Captain as a result of his excellent performance and leadership skills demonstrated throughout his first and second year at the Academy. Officer Cadet Lehman has demonstrated a consistent ability to hold himself and others to account while maintaining his peers' welfare at the forefront of his mind. He completes ADFA as a distinguished graduate. Upon graduation, Officer Cadet Lehman will continue his Army General Service Officer training at the Royal Military College Duntroon in 2025. Chief of the Air Force, Air Marshal Stephen Chappell, DSC, CSC, OAM, will now present the Chief of Air Force Prize. The recipient of the 2024 Chief of Air Force Prize is, from Echo Squadron, Officer Cadet Stephanie Skinner, Royal Australian Air Force. Officer Cadet Skinner is studying a Bachelor of Science, where she has maintained a credit average while simultaneously excelling in her military studies. Throughout her time at ADFA, she has shown excellent leadership through several positions, including as the Divisional Captain of 17 Division, where she has supported and mentored her peers, especially the Year 1 cohort, demonstrating maturity and judgment beyond her experience. Officer Cadet Skinner's dedication and work ethic is highlighted by her involvement in all aspects of her training, including being part of the ADFA band, volleyball club as a team captain, and being a member of the winning Lancaster shooting team. Upon graduation, Officer Cadet Skinner will now head to ESAL to commence her pilot training.
Thank you very much.
Commander Joint Logistics Command, Major General Jason Walk, AM, will now present the Chief of Joint Capabilities Prize on behalf of the Chief of Joint Capabilities. This is awarded to the third-year midshipman or officer cadet who has demonstrated exceptional academic achievement, leadership potential, innovation, and interest in the fields of space and/or cyber during their training. The recipient of the inaugural Chief of Joint Capabilities Prize is, from Alpha Squadron, Officer Cadet Jayeth Gunawardena. Officer Cadet Gunawardena has completed a Bachelor of Computing and Cybersecurity during his time at ADFA, achieving a weighted average mark of 81.25%. He has also averaged over 80% in his joint professional military education and will graduate as a distinguished graduate. In his second year, Officer Cadet Gunawardena established the Cyber Skills Voluntary Extracurricular Club with his peers in order to enhance the training, exposure and experience of cyber warfare officers at ADFA. The establishment of this club enhanced support to student academics, as well as established connections with external units for activities such as work experience and guest speakers. Officer Cadet Gunawardena's contribution to the cyber community at ADFA will have a continued, tangible impact on the ADF's cyber capability. He is known as an infectiously positive person with a selfless commitment to other people, demonstrating his exceptional leadership potential in addition to his technical mastery. Upon graduation, Officer Cadet Gunawardena will now progress his career as a cyberspace warfare officer. Chief of Personnel, Lieutenant General Natasha Fox, AO, CSC, will now present the International Trainee Sword of Honour Award. This award recognises the most exceptional performance by an international third-year midshipman or officer cadet in the fields of academic and military achievement, leadership, personal example, and performance of duty during their time at ADFA. The recipient of the 2024 International Trainee Sword of Honour is awarded to, from Alpha Squadron, Midshipman Denise Silvestri of the Philippine Navy. Midshipman Silvestri is a member of the Philippine Navy and has been studying at ADFA since 2022 as an international trainee officer. She achieved a distinction average while studying a Bachelor of Science. In 2024, her average grade for Joint Professional Military and Education was 100%, and she will graduate as a distinguished graduate. Throughout her time at ADFA, Midshipman Silvestri has been a consistently excellent performer, having been awarded a total of 8 Commanding Officer and Commandant commendations. In 2024, she was appointed as the Divisional Cadet Captain of 4 Division, where she demonstrated exceptional leadership in addition to her academic abilities. She has been an active member of the International Students Association and an active participant in countless other areas of academy life. She has been an outstanding ambassador for the Philippine Navy through her intelligence, leadership, professionalism and integrity. The Philippines should be exceptionally proud of her achievements throughout her time here at ADFA. Upon graduation, Midshipman Silvestri will return to the Philippines and complete her basic officer's course. Major General Greg Mellick, AO, RFD, SC retired, RSL National President, will present the Returned and Services League of Australia Sword for Service. This is awarded to the third-year midshipman or officer cadet who has made the greatest contribution to ADFA by their service, adherence to ADFA values, and living the attributes by personal example. The recipient to the 2024 Returned and Services League of Australia Sword for Service is, from Delta Squadron, Officer Cadet Hyunjun Moon, Royal Australian Air Force. Officer Cadet Moon is studying a Bachelor of Aeronautical Engineering and has demonstrated a deep commitment to both the ADF and the wider community during his time at the Academy. Throughout his time at the Australian Defence Force Academy, he has volunteered as a senior first responder with St John's Ambulance ACT, which includes being one of the 10 bicycle emergency response team members. He has also provided support as a first responder in Brisbane whilst on leave and was the medic for the ADFA Rams this year. Utilising his training with St John's Ambulance Service, Officer Cadet Moon has selflessly provided over 1,200 hours of volunteer medical support to ADFA sporting teams and community first responders, and has organised training opportunities that have contributed positively to the relationship between ADFA and the wider Canberra community. Officer Cadet Moon has assisted in the coordination of ADFA fundraising activities for multiple charities, demonstrating his commitment to the wellbeing of others. Upon graduation, Officer Cadet Moon will complete his honours year before undertaking training as an aeronautical engineer in the Royal Australian Air Force. Wing Commander Hayley Harrison, the Commanding Officer of the Australian Defence Force Academy, will present the final award for today's parade, the presentation of the Lancaster Shield. The Lancaster Shield is awarded annually to the squadron with the highest aggregate score in various inter-squadron competitions during the course of the year, in addition to being awarded the title of Chief of the Defence Force Squadron. This year, the Lancaster Shield is awarded to Echo Squadron. At the opening of the Academy in 1986, the 463 and 467 RAF Lancaster Squadrons Association donated a shield to award the best performing trainee officer squadron each year. Since the inception of this award, it has always been reflective of the 463 and 467 RAF Lancaster Squadron's values. Today, these values are infused respectively with the current ADF values of courage, respect, integrity, excellence and service. The Lancaster Shield comprises 7 events held over the training year, a number indicative of the Lancaster Bomber crew numbers. These events cross a range of disciplines including cross-country running, swimming, debating, military skills, physical fitness, drill, shooting and overall academic results. The Echo Squadron Cadet Captain Midshipman Jack Burns will accept the shield on behalf of all officer cadets and midshipmen of Echo Squadron. Earlier this week, there were a number of other awards and prizes presented. Recipients of these awards were the Academy Graduates Association Prize awarded to Officer Cadet Joshua Kempnich of the Echo Squadron. The most successful international undergraduate was awarded to Officer Cadet Muhammad Yassin of the Pakistan Air Force. John Palmer, Royal Navy Military Training Award, was awarded to Midshipman Abigail Hunt of Bravo Squadron. Field Marshal Sir Thomas Blamey Military Training Award was awarded to Officer Cadet Stasia Skornich of Bravo Squadron. The Sir Richard Williams Air Force Military Training Award was awarded to Officer Cadet Sophie Browning of Delta Squadron. The Petro Fedorchenko Bequest was awarded to Officer Cadet Kayla Liu of Bravo Squadron. The Academy Cadet Graduates Association Prize awarded to Officer Cadet Joshua Newton of Echo Squadron. And the RSL ACT Branch Prize was awarded to the second-year midshipman, or Officer Cadet displaying the highest standards of leadership, and that was awarded to Officer Cadet Tom Delaney of Delta Squadron. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Reviewing Officer, Her Excellency, the Honourable Sam Mostyn AC, Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia, will now address the parade.
Good morning, everybody, on this spectacular Canberra morning after a superb, beautifully executed parade. I acknowledge that today we gather on the lands of the traditional custodians, the Ngunnawal people, and I pay my respects to their elders past and present. And I also acknowledge First Nations people who are here with us today, especially members of the graduating class. Admiral David Johnston, AC, RAN, Chief of the Defence Force. Vice Chief of the Defence Force, Service Chiefs and Representatives, Rear Admiral James Librand, Commander of the Australian Defence College, Air Commodore Jules Adams, CSC, Commandant of ADFA and her staff involved here in the magnificent training, foreign representatives, graduates and your families, distinguished guests. I'm deeply honoured to be here this morning for this, my first Australian Defence Force Academy graduation as your Governor-General and Commander-in-Chief. The ADF has a special place in my family's history, and I'm no stranger to parade grounds. My father, Colonel Bill Mostyn, MBE, retired, served as an officer in the Signals Corps. His career was the source of so many of my and my family's formative and extraordinary experiences, and it began at his graduation from the Royal Military College in 1955 on a milestone day of achievement such as yours. It is a privilege to be with you for the culmination of your 3 years at the Australian Defence Force Academy. Over days, weeks and months in ADFA's unique environment, you have demonstrated the values of service, courage, respect, integrity and excellence that are the centrepiece of a modern Australian Defence Force. Your time at ADFA has taken a special kind of discipline. As the last of the graduating classes to have felt the long tail of the COVID pandemic, you have drawn on and developed deep resources of character and resilience, the ability to be confident self-starters. You've shown grit and determination with difficult tasks. You have curious and inquiring minds, and you understand now the power of knowledge and appreciate lifelong learning. Now, obtaining a university degree is a high bar to clear. Combining these requirements with the demands of officer training in a tri-service environment sets that bar even higher. In partnership with the University of New South Wales, ADFA has given you an opportunity that you have grasped with agility and flair. I congratulate you wholeheartedly on rising to this challenge with a sense of purpose and contribution to our nation, qualities that will drive you throughout your careers, wherever that will take you. For many of our friends from international defence forces, graduation now means a return home. The connections you've made as students at ADFA are a great gift of the course of your study. I hope you will keep the people and places of Australia in your hearts, as we will remember you with gratitude and friendship. These bonds of friendships across the world will remain important throughout your personal and professional lives. And to you all, during your years at ADFA, you've been uplifted, affirmed and supported by the love and care of your families, friends, colleagues and communities. I want to acknowledge today all those family members, partners and friends who join us here, watching you with such pride and delight, and those who wait to celebrate with you at home. They know your sacrifice because they've made it with you. They know your commitment because they share it too. As your Governor-General and Commander-in-Chief, I have the great privilege to witness a modern Defence Force, in parade, on deployment, in training and at rest. As leaders, guides, defenders and peacemakers, you share a deep sense of service, commitment to your mates and a fierce determination to act with purpose in defence of our nation. And you are members of a Defence Force that is dedicated to building a culture of well-being to allow personnel to serve, live and age well, fostering the trust of the Australian people as a pillar of service and establishing a force that reflects the remarkable multicultural story of our nation and the rich diversity that is so deeply entwined with the strength of our identity. And I've witnessed this across the country, at Exercise Pitch Black in the Northern Territory, at Tyndall, Holsworthy, Fleet Base East, Pearce, Creswell and Wagga, and at the Australian War College and Duntroon. And now I see it in all of you. On Remembrance Day, at the address I gave at the Australian War Memorial, I celebrated the ADF of today as a modern force, upholding the greatest of Australian values and reflecting the very best of our nation. It was my privilege then to announce the posthumous award of the Victoria Cross for Australia to Private Richard Norden for gallantry in action in Vietnam in May 1968, awarded for his extraordinary bravery as a tender 19-year-old. This rare honour represents our ceaseless commitment as a nation to honouring the courage and selflessness of veterans, the bravery of generations of our service personnel and those who continue to serve today. As members of the ADF, your work of service contributes to the upholding the pillars of our mighty Australian story. 65,000 years of the world's longest continuous culture, shared with us so generously by Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, joined to the strong and free democratic institutions we celebrate and work so hard to preserve, and Australia's chapter of optimism, of belonging and of progress, underpinned by remarkable multiculturalism. As your Governor-General, I've committed to celebrating the role of care, kindness and respect we see across our country, and it is your service to the Australian people that is a unique and mighty form of that care. And to you as the officers, I include the importance of care for all of those that you lead and those you serve alongside. With the privilege of command entrusted in you comes the responsibility to have a positive impact on all that you lead. Throughout your careers, the shadow of your leadership will be cast widely and be a source of inspiration for so many that you will never know about, but whose futures are shaped by your values and your behaviour. At ADFA, you have shared your journey to become leaders with members of the ADF's 3 services. This integrated experience of living and learning together is now part of your service. It gives you a strategic perspective and professional relationships that are second to none. As the graduating class of 2024, you join your skills and experience to the extraordinary service that has flowed from ADFA to our country and across the world for many, many years. Today, with the gratitude for the service and sacrifice of those who've stood on this ground before you, we celebrate your commitment to preserve the peace and stability of Australia. And I hope you take great pride in everything you have attained. Your next journey starts now, underpinned by the standard of excellence, service and integrity you have learned here. Your ambitions are now for you to define and realise, and I know that you leave here representing the very best of the future for our country. Congratulations to you all.
The Parade Commander will now prepare to hand over the parade. This will see the 2025 Banner Party replace the current Banner Party. The 2025 Banner Ensign and President of the Academy Cadets Mess is Officer Cadet Nin Luong, with banner escorts Officer Cadet Finn Towner, Midshipman Nina Coleman and Officer Cadet Ryan Alley.
Parade! Parade! Eight, and done! Hand over the Governor General's banner!
Sir! Banner parties by the sector! Great! Banner parties inwards! Cut! Escort to the banner! Outwards! Cut! Escort to the banner! On! Up! We, the graduating class of 2024, hand over to you the Governor General's banner. It represents our values of service, courage, respect, integrity, and excellence. It is the embodiment of the traditions forged by those who have come before us. Take this banner, go forth, and lead the Academy! Stop!
Escort to the banner! Attention! Escort to the banner! Inwards! Turn! Banner parties! Left! Turn! Banner parties! Quick! Banner parties will advance! Right! Done!
The parade commander will now order all graduating officer cadets and midshipmen to march forward and form their third-year cohort. This will also include members from the band and those members that were unable to participate in the parade today. This is symbolic of the completion of their time at the Academy as a training officer as they start the next phase of their careers as junior officers. They will take with them the strong personal and professional relationships formed over the 3 years, creating a network which will support them for the duration of their careers.
March forward! The graduating class of 2024! Way!
Parade Commander will now hand over to the 2025 Academy Cadet Captain and new Parade Commander from Foxtrot Squadron, Midshipman Sophie McPhail.
Midshipman McPhail!
Parade appointments! Return! On!
Man!
The Commanding Officer of the Australian Defence Force Academy, Wing Commander Hayley Harrison, will now fall out for the final time the graduating class of 2024.
Graduating class of 2024! For the final time!
Distinguished guests, the reviewing officer will now depart. Please stand for the departure of the Governor-General, who will be accorded a royal salute. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated.
Yeah. Stand by here.
The parade will now farewell the Chief of the Defence Force, Admiral David Johnston, ACRAN. The parade will now farewell the Commandant of the Australian Defence Force Academy, Air Commodore Jules Adams, and the Rector of the University of New South Wales, Canberra, Professor Emma Sparks. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and remain standing as the Governor-General's banner is marched off the parade. Gentlemen are requested to remove hats. All personnel in uniform are to salute after the banner ensign gives the command to present arms and the band plays the musical salute, Point of War. There is no requirement to salute as the banner passes your immediate front.
Escorts to the banner!
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. The parade commander will now hand the parade over to the Regimental Sergeant Major.
Awesome!
Right! I can! Cut! Right! Ice order! Cut! Right! We'll move to the left! In column the route! Hey! Cut! Right! On the left! And by the center! Clear!
Ladies and gentlemen, as the training officers are returning their weapons, the Australian Defence Force Academy Band will now provide entertainment. It is requested that you remain in your seats until this is completed.
Academy Band, 5 10 drum! 5 sensor! Win!
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's parade. On behalf of the staff, trainees, graduating class and Commandant, we thank you for your attendance at the 2024 Australian Defence Force Academy's graduation parade. The Commandant invites selected guests to a light luncheon in the Academy Cadets Mess. All major prize award recipients from the parade are required to immediately make their way to the top of the mess with their invited guests for photos. All yellow and red pass holders, please enter the Academy Cadets Mess through the patio doors at the end of the building or through the doors at the top of the mess. Family and friends of the graduates are invited to join them behind your seating area on the concourse. Please refrain from gathering near the Cadets Mess, allowing other guests to enter the mess